Okay, we got here a little bit late. Not a lot late, like, you know, maybe 10 minutes. And things have changed since we were here last. Now, we didn't get to come last time because it got rained out. And I cut back to once a month instead of twice a month. So this shop over here, which is a new shop, I don't know if you can see that. There's tables. They're all the way out to the center. So any vendor that would have been to the right of me has lost their space. And then this one, they have a canopy out as well for grain and berry, that vendor there, or shop there. So now there were never vendors there. There was always tables, but they're like pushed out. So it's gonna, if any traffic happens to walk down this aisle, since I don't have any vendor neighbors to attract people to this side, there are a few across from me. I'm in a mood, you guys. I am in a mood. So we scooted, instead of being all the way into our regular spot, we scooted over just a little bit so we won't be right up next to stickiness on that side, and then not so far that we would be by ice cream stickiness on that side. So I don't like it when people rock my boat. I really don't. But we have our market bingo sheet all set up. John and I took turns picking what kind of item to write in. I just lost my paper. But on the other side, we have two things crossed off already. Did you make all these? And do you have a business card? So, not that they're in the same line, but I have two spots filled in. I forgot my highlighter, which is what I wanted to use. So we're gonna have to see what is gonna happen. So I've had a couple of sales, which, you know, I am very grateful for. Not enough to cover the booth fee yet. Close. The teabag amuseable sold, so that was cool. I like making that stuff. And yeah, I already had little kids pulling from the backside, knocking stuff over, messing up my shelves. Oh, like you want to see up close like that. Still picking oaky stuff off of the plushies from last Sunday. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable. I know, I'm whining, I'm sorry. Next time I check in, I won't whine, I promise. I'll try not to anyways. But yeah, so there's 3 vendors straight across from me. Not Your Mama's Cookies, a 3D printed vendor, and yeah. Yep. All right, I'll check back in a bit. Okay, so we're doing a bingo check-in. We got one more off of the comment side, the Do You Take Apple Pay? And John got the first one on the other side. One of the items he picked was the kangaroo, and the kangaroo has sold. So, we have 4 marks, but no bingo. Not yet, and nothing in the same row. 1 on one card, 3 on the other. So, we'll check back in again. Okay, so the music's super loud. I gotta do this fast. We got 3 more things on the item side of the bingo card. We got a car swing, a snake, and a bee. I think before I told you there was a turtle and a kangaroo. If not, you know those. So that we've got 5 items off of that side of the bingo card. And in case I didn't say, John and I each picked 12. And so far, he's gotten 3 out of his 12 pick. So, I think he paid a guy to buy the kangaroo. So I think next time I'll print off 2, and then he can have his own bingo card and I can have my own bingo card. And that means we each have to pick 24 items, but we'll be more specific. Like, instead of just saying car swing, well, what kind of car swing? Instead of frog, what kind of frog? You know, that type of thing. Okay, they're starting up the music again. I gotta go. So it's still early, and we have 2 more marked off on the bingo card. These are so cute. And then walks away. And will you be here next week? So here we go. And the music is getting ready to start up again. So I have to go. Okay, so we are moving right along with bingo. 1 more and I'll have a bingo. Somebody just needs to tell me to keep the change or tip me and I got a bingo. Or tell me how they tried to learn to crochet and it was just too hard. And that would also give me a bingo. And then on the other card, we didn't pick too well tonight, but we have a few things marked off. But we're not close to a bingo yet. We're like 2 away on that side. And this music is so loud, you guys, so loud. Okay, it's the end of the night. I did not get a bingo, but I can't be 100% sure because, again, I'll say the music was so loud I couldn't hear the people. So, but we did get a whole bunch of stuff on the bingo card. Let's see. We had this page. See, I just drew a line through it. We were so close, so close. And then this one. Again, we were close, but not quite there. Now, spoiler alert, the night was better than we thought it was going to be, considering the setup situation. And yeah, so now we're gonna pack it all up so we can go home and go to bed and get up in the morning and go back out and do it again. So we will chat later. Well, good morning, everyone. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. It's Tuesday after my 2 market weekend, and today we are going to talk about the first market on Friday. Now, I haven't been at this market for 2 months because I cut back from twice a month to once a month to try out a different market, and we got rained out last month. So that was the reason I didn't take a lot of my makes this past week, because I felt like I had plenty of new stuff, different items to, display at this market because I hadn't been there. Anyways, so when we got there, things looked a little different. And I was just like, what is going on here? So since I've been going there, I've been in the exact same spot every time. And I kind of like it because I have automatic shade from the building. We're tucked back in just a little bit. And, you know, if it's windy, we got some protection from the wind. If it's raining, we got a little bit of protection from the rain. Not a lot, just a little. But, you know, like, this is my spot. So I come around the corner pulling the wagon, and John's got the canopy, and the little, what do you call it? Like little, smoothie shop. It's called, Grain and Berries, I think, something like that. To my left, they have a canopy sitting out. Now, I told you, we are tucked back in a little bit. Well, part of that building, you know, like half my booth would be tucked into this building. So their canopy is way out in the center. And normally we have, on my side, I'm the first vendor, and then there's 4 or 5 others down the line on that side. And then you have vendors right across from you. Well, the canopy's out so far, there's not much of a walkway. And then this new ice cream shop that had like just opened up the last time we were there, they have their little like picnic tables and benches. I'll pop in pictures. Set up, taking up more than half of the walkway for this courtyard. And the last vendor on the side across from me is directly in front of them. So I was the only one on my side of the row. And by the time everybody got there and got set up, there were like 4 or 5. You had a 3D printer guy right across from me, almost like to the side. Then the Mama Made Cookies, which is always right across from me. And then two others after them. So 4 vendors on that side. Everybody else was on the other side or at the front entrance. So I was kind of cranky at first because I'm like, what? I'm going to be out here. Like, I felt like I was by myself, like on a little island by myself. So I start looking for the coordinator, and he's not there. He's on vacation. I'm like, son of a gun. So I took pictures so that I can email him and let him know, you need to move me to a different spot. I can't be in between sticky smoothies and sticky ice cream with my plushies. I just can't do it. So I was off to a really cranky start. And then we get set up. And I'm, still a little cranky while we're setting up because of the situation. And then when some of the vendors started showing up across from us, I felt a little bit better because I wasn't like totally by myself, but I was still the only vendor on that side, stuck in between 2 stickinesses. So we get set up, and then I get John, and we start to fill out our bingo card. So we weren't like real specific filling out the blank. Like we just wrote car swing. We didn't say, chick on a swing. We just said car swing. Turtle. We didn't say, is it a Myrtle the Turtle or is it a bigger fancy turtle? Things like that. So we didn't get a bingo. We might have gotten a bingo, but the music was so loud, I couldn't hear people talking. I mean, it's usually loud there, but Friday night it was extremely loud. And not that the entertainment was bad. They were good. Just they needed to turn down the volume a little bit. But we filled in 11, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spots on this one. So I didn't get to laminate it this time, but it's fine. So we got, did you make all these? That's a given. That could be like a free spot. Where did you get your yarn, pattern, etc.? Let's look around and come back. Can I get a discount? No. How long does it take you to make? Do you take Apple Pay, card, Venmo, etc.? Will you hold this for me? Which that one I don't hear very often, but I heard that twice Friday night. Can they be thrown in the wash? So they asked about how to wash them. Do you have a business card? These are so cute. And then walks away. And will you be here next week? So, and every time at that market, I have to explain to them, if they do it twice a month, I am currently only here once a month, the fourth Friday of the month. So we got that out of the way. And then we were playing the other side. And on this one, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, we were kind of generic on Friday. So we got car swing, turtle, keychain, snake, axolotl, rubber duck, wiener dog, kangaroo. Kangaroo. Let me tell you about this kangaroo. When John picked kangaroo, I just looked at him. I was like, really? Because this kangaroo has been around forever. And it's not that it was a bad pattern. It's very cute. But the yarn was that stiff, hard to work with yarn, which I find it very difficult to get the shaping proper because it's not very flexible. But when he said kangaroo, and I questioned him on it, he's like, I'm going to sell that tonight. And you know what? He sold it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then a bee, possum, and we did not get a bingo on this card, but if we would have sold a capybara, we would have. So it was fun. It was so much fun that when we left, we're getting ready to leave the next morning for market number 2. John asked me, "You got your bingo card with you?" So I made him, when we were picking out the items, we had to be more specific. Like, you can't just say keychain. What kind of keychain? You can't just say car swing. What kind of car swing? That type of thing. Just to make it a little bit more challenging. So that was fun. So as the market got started, I did cheer up a little bit. You know, when, like I said, the vendors started coming that were right across from me. I still was a little tooty about the whole situation, but no. Then, so I'm pretty sure these young ladies have come to see me before. But these twins, they're probably early young teenagers. They stopped in and they're looking and they tell me they watch me on YouTube, and I'm joking around with them like, oh, now I'm going to be shy. And they crochet themselves. And they do the, like the little kidpreneur type markets. And they brought me a little turtle. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, is this tofu? You know, I've never made tofu, but just the way the head was. And she says that's her own pattern. She did it by herself. She did such a good job. So very nice stitches. And it looks like they are doing yarn under. Very nice. So that was, see if John got the names right, because he went over and asked them their names. Caitlin and Annika, thank you very much for my turtle. And I wish you the best at your upcoming market. I hope you sell out of everything. So thank you so much. I will keep this here on my desk where I can see it all the time. Then, okay, let's just get started with what did we sell? We started off with, okay, the market runs 5 to 9. Technically, 5 o'clock is like a ghost town. usually. Because this place is surrounded by a lot of food type things, you know, it doesn't start to pick up till people are heading out to dinner. And, you know, 5 o'clock's still a little early for that. But it goes 5 to 9. But at 5:14, we had our first sale. And it was an itty bitty demi and Pokemon Psyduck. Now, I only had 3 Pokemon with me. One of the water ones that I can't think of their name, Togepi, if I said that right, and Psyduck. And Psyduck sold. Finally. I mean, it's been around for a while. I think maybe because all the other ones are a little more interesting. Those are like the stragglers. But, I mean, I wasn't taking my new ones. I had those. Last time I didn't even put them out because I only had a few, but I put them out and it sold. Then at 5:27, we sold the teabag amuseable. And this lady, she's like, I collect jelly cats and I cannot find the teabag. And she's like, and you have a teabag. Now, of course, it's not a real jelly cat because it's inspired by, but she was thrilled to get the tea bag. Then at 5:54, the third sale of the day, the Kangaroo. John sold the Kangaroo. I could not believe it. That poor thing has been around with me for quite a while. And like I said, it's a cute pattern. It's really cute. Just the yarn was not the most fun to work with. Then at 6:02, you will not believe it, that yellow and mustard turtle finally sold. This little girl thought it was just the greatest thing on earth, and I thought I was going to have that one forever. But it finally sold. At 6:03, we sold a bullet bee. At 6:04, we sold an itty bitty snake. At 6:06, we sold a chicken on a swing. That would be the modification from the All From Jade's birds, you know, did it white and gave it a red comb. And at 6:35, and this has been around for a while, I made it, months ago. It's a little black dragon, and I gave it purple eyes, and, you know, to make it look like an ender dragon from Minecraft. And it finally sold. Now, the only reason it sold is because it had embroidered eyes, and it was for a baby. At 6:50, a yellow chick on a swing. At 6:53, a keychain whale. This made my night. You know the really pretty two-tone pink zombie bear that I made? That when I first made the foot, I thought, oh my Lord, this thing is going to be a monster. It sold. And the same person bought the other teddy bear that I did that was the free pattern on Instagram that had, and it came out huge, it had the green overalls and the little green bow tie. That made my day. That absolutely made my day. They were very excited. The lady's like, the pink one was for her, and the other one was for a kid. But the pink one was for her. She's like, this is mine. Then the next thing we sold, finally, was this unicorn splooter. Now, I was surprised that one took as long to sell, but I think it was my colors. I did it kind of in a blue. So I think the colors held that splooter back a bit. But that one finally sold. Then at 7:34, we sold a chicken keychain. And at $7.35, a strawberry keychain. At $7.38, one of the little cats in a bed. And that little girl was like, can I trade this one for that one? Because she wanted a different color bed to go with the cat. And I'm like, absolutely, because every time they get put on the table, they're probably put with a different bed because it's not attached. So she was thrilled that she can switch and get the color cat she wanted with the color bed that she wanted. Then at $7.49, we sold the corn amuseable. That's 2 amusables. At $7.53, we sold Luma on a swing. That's a new one. And at $7.54, now you guys helped me price this, and I am so shocked that it sold at this price. But we sold one of the little dachshund dogs, and that's one of the dogs that usually goes in the bag, but I did them without the bags this time just because I like the shape of the dog. And you guys had me priced it at $30, and one of them sold. I was shocked. Very pleased, but shocked. At 8 p.m., we sold an axolotl, which now I am down to 2, and oh, do I want to make them? I have so many other things I want to get made. I don't know. Okay, so at 8:03, we sold an otter on a swing, a manatee on a swing, a gummy worm keychain, and one of the possums that I made out of QB Crochet's rat pattern. So that was a nice little sale too. And then another nice sale. So we sold another itty bitty demi and the red panda splooter on its market debut. It sold. I'm like, no questions. They loved it. They loved it. Then at 8:13, we sold the splooting possum on its market debut. And the bear in the frog hoodie. So that's 3 bears. Yes, 3 bears. The pink one, the big one with the green overalls and bow tie, and now the frog hoodie bear. 3 bears in one market. I'm shocked. You know what that tells me? Crochet Me Zaddy might have been right. He said that teddy bears were going to be popular this year, and now I have 1 bear left. 1 teddy bear. I need to make some teddy bears. Yeah, it's the possum and the bear in the frog hoodie. Then at 8:23, we sold my very last baby squid. And at 8:47, we sold a duck, the dashboard duck. And then the last sale of the night was the Cappychino. And it's funny, the lady liked capybaras and she loves Cappychino. And when she realized what that was, she had to have it. And that one was one that I did out of the Parfait Chunky, and it came out a little smaller. And I still priced it the same as the other, and it went. So that was so nice. All right, so let me find my totals. Friday was the 27th. Okay. So, for this market, this was actually a good night. We did $591 in sales. A total of 24 transactions, with the average transaction being $24.62. My best hour was from 7 to 8, and then from 8 to 9 came in second place. And I had just, the one little transaction. The last one came in at 9:03. And that one used to be that from 8 to 9 was the busiest time for that market. But it's like evolved, changed, you know, it's different. So, again, I forgot to activate my like reward thing for the square for having someone sign up and activate, you know, become an active user of their card. I forgot to turn it on. So my square fees were $18.29 because 97% of my sales was card and 3% was cash for $20. The rest of it, all card. That's like probably the lowest cash to card ratio that I've had. Okay, so let's see. We sold, where's my categories? All right. Of our sales, we sold 32 items, 21 plushies, 5 swings, 2 amuseables, and 4 keychains. What was a bestseller? Okay, in the plushie category for quantity, it is the Itty Bitty Demi coming in at 2. Everything else was a one-off. And in the swings, everything was a one-off. Of course, the amuseables, it was one, you know, a corn and a tea bag. In keychains, everything was a one-off. So, quantity, bestseller, Demogorgons. Dollar-wise, the best-selling item was the zombie bear, the two-toned pink one with the black stitching. It was a beautiful bear. Sad to see it go, but at the same time, happy to see it go. That somebody wanted it and loved it enough to pay my price for it. So we did that. And that is pretty much Friday's market. So we broke everything down, packed it all up, headed home. Takes an hour. Then it was like, have a little dinner, try to unwind for a few minutes, shower, go to bed because John wants to go to the market on Saturday, which happens to be the market that I said I'm not going back. I don't care if I lose my fee. I just did not want to go there, but he wanted to go, so we went. And that's a story for a different day.